And Wei Shin's like, okay, where are we going? And he walks into a store and he'll just shoot someone dead. And he's like, come on, let's go. And then
Wei's like,
it gets progressively worse. I did it the first session that we played. I did it.
Did you really?
Yeah. Dude, I was like, gosh, this is so difficult.
Woo! Yeah!
I'm excited!
Yeah. Woo! And you got to season it. If you don't season it, then what are you doing? You're eating trash.
The seasoning is the lessons we learned along the way. The first thing it does is grab a guy and chunk him into the cogs.
It's not going to be you, buddy. Sorry.
Welcome back to the final part of the Sleeping Dog Game Pack series. I'm Brandon, and joining me with a pork bun in hand, Mr. Ramen Slurp himself, it's...
That's right, Brandon, it's me, it's Tyler, it's aka middle grade, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, dude, pork bun, whole man, all that good stuff, feeling good today. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. I always get a little jittery when we're on the final episode of a series.
Dude, I can't wait to talk about what's next, but that is a tease.
Stay tuned to the end of the show.
For the end of the episode.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
I'm tuned.
If you were following along with us, you may or may not have done your side quests in the same order. What we did was we just recapped the entirety of the main campaign, and then we're talking about all the favors. We're not going to talk about every individual thing, just because it would take forever, and some of it's just not very noteworthy. We're going to be talking about the favors, we're going to be talking about some of the special side activities, we're going to be talking about all the girlfriend missions, and then all the DLCs, which includes the Zodiac Tournament, Nightmare North Point, and Year of the Snake, and Wheels of Fury, which is another cool activity that we did. Before we do that, and Tyler, if you have anything you want to interject, let me know. I wanted to bring up something that we were talking about at the end of our last episode, something that we had put a pin in that we forgot. And it was something that Ricky was talking about in the hospital mission where we had to protect Uncle Po from the bad guys from the 18K Triads. And he says he has a comment, and he's talking about what are we doing? Things are so different. What changed in us? We're killing each other at weddings and in hospitals. Like, we used to be different. We used to be honorable. No one has any respect. What happened to us? And that was a very, very subtle clue at the very beginning that Pendrew, him just kind of like internally swaying things and manipulating these triads is what was causing all that. So it wasn't the triads that were changing. It was Big Smiley and Pendrew collaborating, and Pendrew was telling Big Smiley to do these things so he could become the person in power, and then they were going to be partners until, Big Smiley exhausted his usefulness to Pendrew. And of course, with Wei Shin doing what he did, it just kind of undid everything for Pendrew and ended up coming back to stick to him. So I wanted to bring that up because we couldn't remember what it was. I forgot to put this back in.
An important like character detail is that these people are thriving. Pendrew specifically is thriving and being enriched by the chaos in the Triad organizations. Like, we're set off in our mission to ostensibly overthrow this Triad organization, bring peace to the streets of Hong Kong. But what we learned is that that's not the goal of the people at the top. The people outside of the society affected, the people inside the society affected, people like Tang, Inspector Tang, people like Raymond, their interest is in its peace on the streets, peace on earth, and goodwill toward men. That's what theirs is. Pendrew comes in, creates chaos, cleans it up, and then is promoted off of the back of cleaning it up.
And then he was just going to leave it all behind too for Raymond and Ting to clean it up. Because he went international, he went to Interpol, and he's like, okay, well, I'm done here. And
this is telling the story of interlopers, outside interlopers, colonizers, that type of thing. Like, this guy comes in from outside, stirs up trouble to be enriched by it, and then leaves for all the locals to deal with the outcomes. It's a classic story of humanity.
Classic maneuver.
Yeah, it is. This is, again, we talk about character archetypes. Pendrew is one that we're very familiar with.
But yeah,
I want
to bring that up.
Cleanup.
We were trying to remember it. We couldn't remember what it was. But yeah, let's go through our walkthrough. Let's start
Yeah.
with some of the favors. The favors are like the little yellow bubbles, speech bubble things that that pop up, and you can just kind of pull over and do them. Some of them are like literally like 2 seconds long. Like, oh, hey, Mister, help me, my car broke down, and you get jumped. Or, hey, Mister, help me, I can't start my bike, and then you get jumped, and you just chase a guy like 40 feet and beat the crap out of him, get your money back or whatever. And some of them are like, multi-parts, but it's the same thing. It's just a little bit more each time. Like the guy with he's like, hey, I lost this race. Go beat up these cars with a tire iron. And you do it like 4 times. And you realize, oh, that guy's just lying, and I'm just doing these bad things to help him.
There's a lot of like helping out street side vendors, like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man activities of like, oh, wait, there's some guys using foul language. Like that was one of them as well. And you run over and you just like throw the guy out. The thing that you're told to do is grapple him. They're like, press B and take him out or throw him out. And, these little things like this are intended to give life to the world and make it feel
And
lived
it's supposed to kind of simulate, like, oh, Wei Shin. Everyone knows Wei Shin. He's the guy that did this. He's the guy that did that. But it doesn't work out.
Yeah, because you get
like,
face.
Yeah, you get the face value out of it, like the face experience. But the bad thing is you don't hear about it like you would like on like New Vegas, for example, where it's like, a local man shot in the head raises from the dead in Good Springs, and we heard that same guy did these activities as you do them.
Well, how about this one?
It's not like that.
Also, there is another way for these kinds of little missions to pop up here and there. One game that I thought that did that really well was Tears of the Kingdom, and it was because each time you came up to one of these little problems to solve, you have to build a contraption, and they're usually like evolutions of the same concept that you've been developing over time. And so, like, each time you're sharpening it just a little bit, like with the sign guy, the dude who's putting up signs for Bolson Construction. Yeah. Each time the sign was just a little different, or maybe they're like tiers, as tiers of the king, tiers of the sign. There's like a sign with like one pole, and then a sign with like 2 poles.
One that's on an incline, one that's in water.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, yeah.
And so I always enjoyed solving those micro puzzles because they were just these little bite-sized, like, it'll take me 5 seconds of thinking about this, and I'll just bing, bang, boom, put it together. It's fun. The difference between a game like that and like Sleeping Dogs is that there's no little puzzle to solve when you're throwing out the graffiti artist.
Yeah,
it's
like
just you're just repeating repeating the same thing that you've already done 100,000 times. Mm-hmm. Tears of the King, or like the Bolson Construction, gives you like even that brief second, even the brief second of thought that you have to put into Bolson Construction sign fix is more satisfying than just the like, gonna go rough up these goons again that I've done 100,000 times. So like, if I don't know, I think looking at games like this into the future, these kinds of moments are interesting and exciting if the story is unique, which is one route to success, or if they come up with these micro puzzles to solve. Merely recreating the same mechanical structure every time in these small segments doesn't make the world feel more alive. It just makes it feel more.
Let me tell you something, though.
Plastic, maybe.
Let's talk about Calvin.
Oh yeah, Calvin is a clone.
Calvin is one of the Sun On Yi that shows up as one of these favor people, and every time you see him, you're like, "Hey, Calvin, what's up?" He's like, "Well, I need you to drive me somewhere." And he's like, and Wei Shin's like, "Okay, where are we going?" And he walks into a store and he'll just shoot someone dead. And he's like, "Come on, let's go!" And then Wei's like, it gets progressively worse, and then like by the end, like the last one, you're like, you're not gonna shoot somebody, you're not gonna kill somebody, are you? He's like, no, I don't even have a gun on me, and all of a sudden, a whole parking lot explodes. Yeah, and he's like, well, we gotta go.
I want to meet the person that all of these, Curtis and all like the originator for this particular person in this world, and I was kind of disappointed that you didn't frequently encounter his like body class in combat, because the grappler class was always like a dude who drinks a lot.
Yeah, like the big guy, big belly
beer
guy.
Belly. But the Calvin like fighting force character, do you ever fight him? Do you ever fight that body type?
I think you do fight some grappler classes that look like him. Specifically in the DLC, there's one of them. The guy at the the Zodiac tournament, who's like, I'm gonna beat you up before the tournament. That guy is just a reskin of Calvin.
Yeah, true. That's exactly what I was looking for.
There's a few of them that are like that. There might be like some 18K triads or something in a mission that we did that you could tell because they're all wearing the same tank top that like sags down, tank top. Like the neck of it goes like.
I gotta be honest. The realism here is dudes who are built like that wear those clothes only.
Oh yeah.
It's exclusive clothing.
But something important to know is that we do see some of the other Sun On Yee characters doing these favors. Like I think Conrad is one of them. Conrad, the Winston clone, he shows up in one of them. But I mean,
Calvin, the Winston clone.
Honestly, that's really all I have to say about them. They're just kind of like. Yeah. I think if you're playing the game and you're just doing it as you go, it's probably a little bit more enjoyable. I just did them all like consecutively. So.
Well, I did them as I went, and I had the same experience. I think I got to a point where like when I first started the game, I was hitting everything as it popped up on my map. But as I got through the game more, I started being more selective with where I was spending my time, to the point where like I ended the game with some things unfinished just because I didn't want to go do all of whatever the thing was. But I ended up doing all the favors. Calvin's definitely the best thing of the favor.
Every time I saw him, I was like, all right, what are we doing now?
Got to go help out Calvin. He's the best thing from all of the favors, I think, for sure.
So in addition to the favors, you could go do jobs. And jobs are like your
fight clubs.
Yeah, the less narrative centric activities to go do. So there's racing, there is the fight clubs, there's cockfighting.
Which isn't not to be confused with the martial arts club, which is which has a whole storyline. That was something that tripped me up in the beginning of the game. I thought that all this was
orange
connected.
Icons are the ones that are typically the jobs.
That's right.
And there's one of them that's an orange one. The Zodiac tournament is orange, and the Car Rampage one is orange. So we're gonna talk about those separately, but those are DLCs.
Those were DLC,
Yeah, fight clubs are fun. Just progressively, more and more guys being thrown at you as you level up. Really easy way to make money and get face experience. The car deliveries, you call up, what's his name?
Oh, goodness. I don't remember. I did these.
I forget his name.
Anytime I needed to farm money for like to go buy an expensive car. But once I was at a point where I had all the cars I needed, I never did another car delivery.
I never really had to do any grinding for money. I always just had enough to get whatever it was I wanted. Except for
I just wanted to have a big garage. I wanted to have selections for each class, so that when I did a race, I could choose from a myriad of cars. So I ended the game with a ton of cars, but I would only ever drive the Elaton or we'll talk about it in a minute, the supercar, the DCZ or whatever.
Yeah, you could do the collections. That was for Roland, I believe. And then also some other ones that we could do.
I didn't do many of those.
Were the armored cars that you could hijack, stuff like that. And those are just little side activities for you to make money. That's really what they are.
You know what we've never talked about? Is how Wei Shin has access to a personal valet who will only ever bring his original bike. Unless they told me otherwise and I just didn't see it.
There is a button you can push. Whenever you're choosing your cars in the garage, you can set one to the valet car specifically.
Dude, I'll tell you this. I assumed that was the case many hours ago, and I never did anything about it. I never
that original bike is pretty slow.
It's terrible, and every time the guy would bring it to me, he would pay for his life because he brought me that crappy bike. I would kick him off. He would say thanks for using my service, and I would drive over him as I left in anger for bringing me this piece
Classic,
of crap.
like the GTA Online mechanic. Johnny on the spot. He'd be like, "Here you go, boss." And they took him out of the game because people would just murder him all the time.
Oh yeah,
and he would drive up and he would like collide with stuff and scratch up your car before he delivered it to you.
And anytime he would be like, "Oh no, I'm too busy," I would make sure that he was punished extra next time he brought me my crappy bike.
Make sure you have a gun. Make him bring you a police vehicle and then get the gun out of the back and then shoot him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I definitely assumed there was a way to change it, but I was like, they haven't made it obvious, so I'm not gonna seek it out.
Yeah, that was the first thing I did. I went and bought there's this one car that you can buy. It's I think the description is like for the man who has everything and still wants more or something like that. And it's like the fastest, most sharp handling vehicle, and I just set that to my valet. And that anytime I got stuck, towards the end, I was just using taxi services to get me from one.
Oh,
point
dude,
to the
I know.
next.
I punished the taxi late in the game as well. I just got to a point where I was sick of driving the same roads, and I will say, as one demerit against the game, the driving variety is pretty darn low, and I don't mean like.
Dude, I hate that Grand Theft Auto 5 is that way. Grand Theft Auto Online's that way. It's like, unless you're driving your own car, all the cars that you get that it's even worse in the online mode. It's like they're all bad options. They're all bad options.
I was talking about like the scenery and the places that you're driving. It all just kind of blends together. Now I know that there is variety in like the architecture. You can tell when you're in richer parts of Hong Kong and poorer parts of Hong Kong. So that is there.
You know you're in North Park when you're in North Park.
Yeah, I always enjoy in these open world games like this when there's also a rural area with like that sort of
the
type
big
of character
jumps,
as well.
the wide open spaces where you can really mess with your car. Yeah,
one extra layer of variety would have helped.
The driving on the interstate or like the freeway in this game is incredibly boring.
Yeah, I spend my time just like ramming into cars, just bam. Like knocking a guy off the
Anytime
the
I saw I had a mission where I was going to hit the interstate, I went and found a taxi. Because I was like, I don't feel like driving 2,000 meters or however far it was.
Lots of interstate driving.
Yeah.
I will say, though, not to knock the driving completely, the like police chases and stuff actually worked out to being pretty fun.
Those are fun. Those are fun. It's just the driving, the getting from point A to point B.
Yeah, because you have like the absurd bumper car and all these other ridiculous mechanics. That's actually proving to be fun over the long haul.
And
I enjoyed it.
You're gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. There's that one section of road that's under construction, and like that middle lane is like dips down, and you have to be in that little small lane, either going towards or against traffic, and it always slows you down, and it's never a good time. I mean, you could go in the little dip down and jump back up, but sometimes you're driving big vehicles, or you're doing a mission, or you're in a hurry.
Yeah. You see those roads, the same roads, a whole lot in this game. Mm-hmm. And again, we're talking about a game from 2012. I am keeping a sense of perspective on it.
Oh, 100%. No, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not knocking it like in comparison to other things. I'm giving it a pass because A, it's an old game, and B, it went through development hell. So I'm giving some pity points with it. I think we're gonna do like an end score at the end of the game, end of the show as well. So I see we have some events to talk about. You have to remind me of some of these.
Oh, dude, yeah. Do you remember running around in the game and just random things would pop off on like in the Red Dead Redemption sort of way? Like you're just running through and like the one that I thought there's one called Junk in the Trunk, and it was like there's a person locked in a trunk and you just have to find them in a random parking lot.
Oh yeah, you have to use your hacking thing for that, I think.
Yeah, the hacking,
the triangulation.
One of those little mini games, but you let the person out and they're just like, "Hey, thanks," and they run off and that's it. There's all kinds of stuff like that. This is actually where this is where the troublemakers are. I referenced that earlier for favors. Those aren't favors; they're events. So my mistake there. But those are the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man sort of Wei Shin moments.
Yeah, I remember these. Yeah, they're once again just kind of like the favors. I feel like they're mostly unremarkable. But they're fun.
Definitely
it's nice. It's nice to make the world feel a little bit more alive, like the kinds of rampant crime going on that you're trying to stop.
Yeah, it's like honestly a game with more of this and less of the repetitive kind of other stuff would make it feel more alive. I honestly, dude, less of the repetitive mechanics. What am I trying to say? Like bleeding. Like they are just bleeding all of the mechanics for everything they're worth at every point in the game. Less of that and more quality writing just to tell like different stories with more people like Calvin that recur would make this game go a long way insofar as feeling alive.
Sometimes the less action, the better. Sometimes I don't want some kind of like fight just to have a fight. Sometimes I want to learn about the world. It could be like a short mission with almost nothing going on with it, but if it's meaningful, like maybe you're doing certain things and there's a reason for that. Just like we were talking about with that Two Chin mission, I really wish the guy would have been telling you why you're doing the things you're doing, and maybe you can learn a little bit about like Chinese or Hong Kong culture and why those superstitions mean the things that they mean, which we're going to talk about in a little bit about in the, I think it was the Year of the Snake, probably the best part about it. Because as you're doing Year of the Snake, the files you're getting are not about like the dossiers of characters. They're like fun facts. But anyways, yeah.
You get that. You get that as well with the martial arts one, the Zodiac tournament. You get more fun facts, delivered differently, which we'll discuss.
And also, can we add like the police events in here as well? Like, oh help, there's an active shooter, or get up there and snipe the guy or whatever.
Yeah, those were okay. I liked it because the main game doesn't have a lot of police action going on aside from
doesn't.
those.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
And those are like pure filler. So like you get pure filler cop action, and then you get Ting's cases. I wanted more of that kind of stuff.
Do you remember
until Year the Snake? Year the Snake is all cop.
Do you remember in True Crime Streets of New York, you could just pull up your badge and write tickets to people?
Dude, I know.
You remember that?
Like multiple ending. Yes, I do. Yeah, true. Those games were ahead of their time.
They were ambitious. Look,
too much so.
True Crime Streets in New York might be one of the worst games I've ever played, but it was ambitious, and you can't deny that.
I wonder if you can run it on PC with like community patches to make it run well.
I don't know. I have to look it up. Because I'm not playing it on GameCube, I'll tell you that much. That's what I got it on.
I had it on Xbox. No, me neither. But in the same way, so many of these games get fixed by the community. It's something worth looking into, dude. We have a thing going with the sleeping dogs. We need to throw it back.
But yeah, so we also had like really random things pop up. I'm not sure if it was DLC, like I was added on later, like this Death by 1,000 Cuts event.
Yeah, just doing some clicking around online, I found that was a post launch rather DLC.
I believe so. It's just like
alongside all the MMA merchandise for George St. Pierre.
I do remember the GSP stuff came with like a pre-order or something like that.
Okay.
Because I remember I bought Sleeping Dogs Day 1. I think I had the GSP stuff.
I wish I had known this whenever we first started this, but the Death by 1,000 Cuts is endless Triad XP farming. You can
really? You can
Triad
replay
XP
it
there. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure
hard.
how.
It's hard.
It is tough, especially early when you don't have all.
I did it the first session that we played. I did it.
Did you really?
Yeah. Dude, I was like, gosh, this is so difficult. I didn't even have the Sunstrike follow up yet.
Yeah, I did it early as well. I'm not sure at what point I played it, but I threw myself at it about 3 times, and I was like, I need to go upgrade my combat.
Well, the bad thing is, it's basically the Fight Club, but they all have weapons, and if you get hit, you get poisoned, and you have to like fight, and your poison like constantly drains your health. You have to fight until it wears off, and if you have low health as well, that doesn't help. So
yeah, maybe we should establish what it is. That's probably a good idea. It's an endless 18k triad enemies.
You have to kill like 40 of them, and it's just like the Fight Club. They just keep throwing more and more at you, different varieties of enemy type and stuff like that. I didn't realize it was you could repeat it, because I got to like level 9 Triad, and I had like less than a quarter to go to get level 10. Which there is there's a trophy or achievement, whatever. But I've played this game twice before. I'm not concerned with it. Just not concerned.
No, I understand. Yeah, once you have all of the martial arts upgrades, though, it's a pretty trivial fight.
Oh, dude, I bet you it's fun. I bet you it's really fun.
I went in there at the end after doing all the stuff for Wei Shin's upgrades, and it was simple. It was really no issue. Where early on I was getting stabbed left and right.
So we've talked about Ting's cases. We talked about Popstar. We talked about Hotshot, and we talked about the serial killer that was stealing people's organs. We talked about that. You had to do those. You had to do those to a certain extent to progress the story. Like the Popstar one, I was directly tied into the story. Unfortunately, the rest of them aren't 100% directly tied to it. They are related, but not like the Popstar one was. I wish it would have been. And then
dude, I thought that's what they were establishing at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
I remember talking to you like, is it like GTA where you have like 3 letters on the map of different people and you have a simultaneous story happening at the same time? That's how they set it up in like chapter 1 of Sleeping Dogs. And then after that, it just becomes basically all side content. The
Yeah.
cases.
Yeah, and then there was one more that we didn't talk about that's done. I think you have to start doing the girlfriend missions.
Well, let's talk about the girlfriends first, then.
Would you like to?
Yeah, and then we'll bounce from that to that last
Okay.
Ting mission.
So the
'cause,
girlfriend
it involves
missions,
someone.
those are the ones that it's probably best to do early because of what you unlock.
Oh, dude, definitely so. I was doing them as soon
And
as I got
all
'em.
these characters you meet by doing the main story. Some of them, it's like mission after mission you're meeting them. So we talked about there's Amanda that was voiced by Emma Stone that shows up out of nowhere by your apartment for some reason in the alleyway and who's lost, and we talked about that, how you take her to go see the martial arts place. There's Tiffany, the hostess at Club Bam Bam, who we talked to several times. She's the one that gives us that gun the guy left. There's Not Ping, who's kind of the most random. We see her for like one mission where we had to go get that bug to put in Winston's in the restaurant's air vent.
Yeah, in the restaurant.
And like that's the only reason we ever see her outside of these girlfriend missions. There's Ilyana, who's the one that we meet when we do the
King. We're taking King out
King.
on a date.
Yeah, that's the one where
at
we
the
do
K-bar.
that insanely unremarkable mission.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
then there's Sandra,
Sandra.
who is you were talking about who she was related to was Tu Chin.
It's Tu Chin.
So
yeah,
Tu
dude.
Chin's daughter Sandra, who was with Vivian when we went to go pick her up.
Yeah, they
So-
never say explicitly, but at the end of we'll talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about Amanda's mission first.
Yeah, for sure.
That
So-
was the one where she's like, you had to call them to set up the dates, by the way.
yeah.
And you can do
Once-
them in
once
whatever
you-
order you want.
Once you meet them in the story, they say like, "Hey, let's do this again," and they'll show up in your phone under contacts.
Yeah.
Just like your car valet or whatever else. You call them, it'll then populate an icon on your mini map to go start a side mission. So after hanging out with Amanda, with the Shaolin stuff, you then get a real date with her. She wants to go meet up at the park.
You're right. I'm gonna pull up my gameplay. I'm pretty sure most of these are on the single playthrough or play session I had. So let me pull these up. Looks like I did
So, yeah,
Sandra's first.
You go do the Amanda mission, and
Oh yeah, so Amanda's
you
the
have
one
to fast talk a guard.
Yeah, you take her to the park. You fast talk this guard because the park's closed, and she just wants to like see stuff and take pictures. And she's wearing
Which
like
is the most.
she's wearing like
It's
an
the most
elegant
pointless mechanic, dude, in
Yeah,
the game.
She's
the
wearing like an
fast talk.
elegant dress for such a kind of weird date. And then we just take pictures of her posing in all these different places and
For her blog, her travel blog.
yeah, for her travel blog. And then the part of these missions that's really weird to me is like they end kind of like okay, well, see you later. But then there's like a comment that Wei Shin might make where he'll be like, hey, come here for a second.
Oh yeah, they hook up.
Like
Yeah, they
like,
definitely do.
I'm like, okay, well, I'll see you next time. And Wei Shin's like, wait, come here for a second. I want to show you something. And it's like, did they just do that in the park just with nobody around? They just right in the park right there out in public? just
There's always an innuendo. They'll after
Yeah.
that moment, it'll show something in the environment like a billboard or something.
Yeah,
that has like someone
There's-
eating an ice cream cone.
yeah,
or
there's
whatever.
one of
And
them that zooms in and it's like something completely unrelated. I
it'll
can't
be
remember what it was. I can't,
But like, they're hooking up for sure.
yeah,
at
no,
the end
the only
there.
thing it's missing is the classic cut to black and moaning noises, and
Yeah,
then,
like a squeaking bed.
and then fade back in from black and have Wei Shin being like, all right, I'm refreshed.
Dude, it's so strange that these missions just end like that.
They
because,
feel so rushed and abrupt.
yeah, half baked.
But most importantly, after you finish, after you, pun intended, after you finish, you
Yeah.
you unlock some kind of ability. I think Amanda's is you can see jade statues on the map.
Which is so powerful.
So
Such an incredible
useful,
skill.
so useful. If
I'm going-
the jade statue ones, if you if you're playing through the missions, you typically are going to find all of them. I think there's maybe like one or two that you can miss.
There's some in the environment, yeah, but not many.
And then also, well, I think the next girlfriend gives you a more important one, but also,
well,
you can
actually,
just-
dude,
you can-
I'll also say, go ahead.
I was gonna say you can just look it up on your phone where the jade statues are. It's not. There's
Well,
only a
that's
few
true.
of them, so.
That's definitely true. But one thing, getting that ability early on is that you'll find a jade statue in the environment, but it'll be completely locked off. And then you'll get it later in the story. Like, there's one in like a hospital or something that I found really early on because of this lady. And there's no way to get to it. It's behind glass. You can run around. You can't. So that was kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. Like finding.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, there's a few of them that are locked off. Like you have to do missions.
Yeah, there were like 3 or 4 that I found in the world, but I couldn't reach them because they're behind a story.
Yes. Vivian's apartment, and there's one more. I think it's the Shaolin area. You have to have that open.
Yeah, maybe so. But that was one thing that actually kind of got on my nerves.
Let's do Sandra next, because I want to do Tiffany's last.
Sure.
So Sandra, just like another mission, she's like, "Oh, I like fast cars. I want you to drive this insanely awesome race car I have, and just drive."
I hated this so much.
All you gotta do is just drive around real fast, and then she's like, "Oh, my dad texted me. I need to go home."
Well, dude. That's right. That's the whole date. But while you're driving fast, it's like nothing is happening, and she's just, woo, yeah,
oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, woo. And it's not like, it doesn't seem like Sandra is being like, a bitch about this. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like she's trying to be sincere, but it comes off as just ridiculous.
Yeah,
and
I think
stupid.
she's just a poorly written character. She's just the
poorly
worst
written,
character.
poorly acted. It's just not. It's not very well done, and these dating missions are just afterthoughts.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Oh, have you ever done it in a car before, Wei Shin?" He's like, "I was raised in California. What do you think?" And
what
then
do
she's
you
like,
think?
She's like, "Oh, yeah, it's kind of cramped. Anyway, see you later." And she gets out of the car to go back inside, and then you're like, "Hey, wait a minute. Come back in this car. I want to show you something." And then there's the presumption. And I forget what she unlocks.
That was just Pokemon cards. He was showing her his binder.
Hold on.
She just gives you a race. She unlocks racing in Victoria's Peak.
Yeah, just one race and you get like 15 grand for the mission.
Yeah, it's pretty trash.
So yeah, that's that one. Let's do.
You're talking about Not Ping?
Let's see. Yeah, Not Ping. That one's also so fast. You meet her and she's like, "Hey, I like to hack cameras for fun at night."
Yeah, you just run around hacking.
And you're like, "Hey, let me do my hacking minigame that you've done 1,000 times. Let me do it right here on top of this." And you do the hacking minigame. She's like, "Wow, that's cool. How'd you learn how to hack like that?" And you're like, I'm cool. I know my way around a hacking device." And then with her, I forget.
Sorry, I just hit my desk really hard.
She's just trying to play hard to get, and he's like, "All right, I'll see what it takes to get it out of you." And then he's like, "Hey, you want to show me how to hack a camera real fast?" And then fade to black, and that's the end of that mission. And that one shows you where the security cameras are at, which is also super helpful. It sucks that specifically that one is tied behind an unlock. And then
it's again just each girlfriend shows how unimportant these missions really are.
Yeah. Let's go talk to Ilyana. Let's go talk to Ilyana.
But Not Ping, I want to say, she comes back around in a way that I was not expecting.
Yeah, same.
So weird.
So Ilyana, who is the one that was at the K bar when we brought King there,
right.
She's like, "Hey, it's time for my break or whatever. Let's go hang out."
Oh god, this one is so dumb.
And she's like, "I like to free run. Let's go run on the rooftops."
She's like, "Hey, I like to run to stay fit for my job. Let's go parkour." And so he turns into this dumb like running mission where you're sprinting after this girl at the same rate that you do chasing chasing like a murderer, and she's running away from you because Wei Shin is really true.
Yeah, you parkour all the way to the end, and you beat the race, and then she's like, "Wait, I want to show you something." Fade to black, and then we get the billboard,
Oh, yeah. That's the one I was thinking of.
So let's talk about Tiffany. So let's go talk about Tiffany. She's the karaoke bar hostess, so we go there and we sing karaoke again. This time I sang "Girls Just Want to Have Fun" by Cyndi Lauper. Great song. Wei Shin sings it very well. So you sing a song, and then she's like, "Hey, can I sit in your lap and sing a song for you? Because my client's like that." And you're like, "Okay." And then fade to black. That's it.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is
Good
this
stuff.
is this is the one that it pans over to something that's unrelated. Hold on, what is it? It's like a cologne or something. Yeah, it's face wash.
Okay, I mean, I guess
Maybe that's
you
maybe that's
you
an
can make an
innuendo.
innuendo. You can make an innuendo out of just about anything. So sure,
Yeah.
I can see how that might connect for sure.
Yeah.
But this is an interesting one where not Ping and Tiffany can kind of come back.
Yeah, so explain
after-
this to me because I remember this happening
Yeah.
for me when I originally played this game, but it didn't happen to me in this playthrough because I just was kind of doing them one by one consecutively. So what happens here?
So I'm pretty sure it's Calvin actually that is like he's standing outside your apartment after you do your useless dates with both ladies. He's standing outside your apartment. He's like, "Oh wait, you'll never believe it, man, but that Tiffany girl, she's been seen with another man." And Way's like, "What? No." Even though he told Jackie that he can't have relationships, which is why you're supposed to believe that there are no second dates, is because he's just trying to,
Yeah,
get it.
and he also has 7 girlfriends.
Yeah, well, he wants to get it wet
Or 5.
once, and then according to him in the story, because he doesn't have relationship status availability, he's not pursuing it. So when Calvin tells him this, he should be like, well, okay, whatever. But to give you some drama, he's like, I can't believe
Yeah,
this.
this
Why
is the
would
one.
she do it?
I remember the very first episode of this series. I remember talking about one of these makes Wei Shin look like an idiot. I think that's what I remember.
Yeah, this one. It's so pointless, so dumb. So you go and you tail her while she's on a date, and he approaches the guy, or he approaches them both, and he's like, man, what's going on here, man? And the guy's like, hey, dude, back off. And Wei Shin's like, I don't think you want any problems with the Sun On Yi. And he's like, oh no, I'm not interested in all that. I'm out. And so Tiffany's like, what's your problem, Wei? We're done or whatever. And he's like, what are you talking about? She's like, I know you went and saw another woman, so I'm going to see other men. If you can see other women, I can see other men. And he's like, all right, well, fair enough. And she's referencing, for whatever reason, not Ping, because not Ping, then she hits you up and she's like, Wei, we need to talk. And call me, maybe. Maybe that's what it was. So you call her and she's like, do you have another girlfriend? What the heck's going on? I don't like this, blah, blah, blah. And you chit chat for a minute. And then she's like, all right, well, maybe call me later. So not Ping is like not too upset about it. That's where things end with everyone in this game as far as girlfriends. If you do Sandra, Ileana, Tiffany, Ping, blah, 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 Amanda, they end at the end of their storylines. But then not Ping comes back. So like you have this weird thing between with Tiffany and another man and not Ping, and she finds out about the whole thing. But then again, she comes back. So like that conversation where she broke it off with Wei, she actually ends it on like maybe things can work out. So they kind of like, I guess when they finished writing the girlfriends, they wrote it so that Ping would still be available. But everyone else is just kind of
it must have just been leftovers, man. They must have had more planned for this. But
who? Let me ask you this. Maybe you remember. Who's the person that gets Wei talking about girls, and he's like, I like white women, but my mom is racist?
I don't remember.
Me neither.
I don't.
He
I
has
know.
a full conversation.
I remember our comment about that, but I don't remember when that was.
I can't remember who he's talking to, but I think we're led to believe that Amanda is Wei's.
Like
Amanda's
canonical?
the one for Wei.
Like-
I don't know if canonical. I don't know, but as far as like who he likes, it would have. It should have been Amanda, but
Yeah,
his mom
she's the
being,
first one you meet, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Well, I see an interesting note here. It says after breaking up with Tiffany, she's no longer an essential character and can be killed.
That's just a little trippy. I didn't know that either.
So you can just kill, you shoot her? You just shoot her?
I guess so, like a person on the street, like anyone. You can just kill anyone. You get the demerit if you're a cop and you kill someone, and it's like innocent killed. You know, when the game frowns at you.
Huh, okay then.
So yeah, Tiffany could be absolutely murdered.
Yeah, but the girlfriend
Sounds like a
missions
good plan to
outside of the bonuses, very unremarkable. And I remember that from the past couple times I had played them. I remember them being like you could finish them in like 2 seconds each, and they felt kind of like afterthoughts, unfortunately.
You don't come to this game for the side content.
Certainly not. Certainly not. So we talked about the martial arts training, about how each time you pick up one of the jade statues, it's one for each. Each statue is an animal of the Chinese calendar, And
he
tells
has
you a story.
one.
Yeah, he tells you a story about each one, like a parable about each one of them. And we actually talked about it on the last episode about whenever you turn them all in. He kind of tells you about his acceptance of like a responsibility of people using his martial arts that he's been teaching them for bad, and how he takes responsibility of it. And Wei Shin and him have kind of like a moment. He tells him like, "Oh, you can't think like that. Like, it's not your fault. Like, you're teaching, you're giving people the tools, how they use those tools. It's not on you." And
It's on them.
yeah, Sifu is actually a really cool character. I kind of wish there was more with that character. Maybe
Maybe
like,
there will be one day in the sequel.
Maybe he could have been like a character that's like lawful good, that kind of helps Wei Shin stay in check with his sanity, as he grips with the excessively violent nature of his triad side and the excessive lawful side of his police work. Like maybe he could be like a point of balance, Yeah. I thought that would have been a lot cooler if he like would have popped up with some side missions where he'd be like, "Oh wait, meet me down here at the wherever," and he's like, "Yeah, I come down here to meditate or something," and maybe you could get some cool, character development with that guy. Maybe some unlocks there.
One thing I found was that Sifu Kwok he was voiced by a legendary Hong Kong action movie star who has since died.
Oh,
but
man.
so I think maybe his name is a reference actually to that person. I don't remember exactly. But one thing I wanted to bring up with that whole storyline is that your mission is to go out into the world and find these jade statues that your Sifu has lost. He has one. He used to have 12, but because of triad evil, his complete set has been broken up and scattered into the world. And so what Wei is up to is he's coming in to make the set whole. He's coming in to complete the set, which is just a reflection again, or an echo of the game's greater theme of the pork bun, the whole man, and like. Wei's inability because he lives double lives, he'll never be a whole man living double lives.
The pork bun is symbolic of so many things, Tyler. Listen,
it is.
You've got the bread, you've got the meat. You can't have one without the other and have a pork bun still.
And you got to season it. If you don't season it, then what are you doing? You're eating trash.
The seasoning is the lessons we learned along the way. The experience.
Yeah, that's true. A seasoned cook would know how to season a pork bun. But no, the pork bun is that's the graphic image of the whole man for sleeping dogs. But the whole game's story revolves around this idea of double lives and being a whole man. And I think this story is, again, a reflection of that. You're coming into Sifu's life to make a complete set, to make a whole set.
Make him whole again.
That's right.
So yeah, let's move on to the DLCs.
Okay, so I want to talk about Zodiac Island since it's available.
That's the first one I did. And I remember this one. I remember enjoying it and having a good time with this. This is essentially just like a Bruce Lee movie, like Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
I want to say satire, like parody. And it's super fun. I like Zodiac Tournament a lot. You kind of get this like film grain, like 70s, like intro. It's like Wei Shin. It even has the actor's name as like such and such as Wei Shin, and you get there. I love old school. It's probably why I like the Mortal Kombat 1995 film so much. It like a bunch of people fighting in a tournament on an isolated island.
I mean that too exists in the long shadow of Bruce Lee's cinematic influence.
And Mortal Kombat wouldn't exist if it wasn't for old school kung fu
for sure.
movies.
Dude, I think the intro to this DLC is the best part about it. I loved the intro. Whenever it ended, I was like, yes, this is wonderful, this is great. And the DLC itself is pretty fun, but I think they nailed it on the intro.
Yeah, you kind of get like introduced to these characters. There's like a Muay Thai fighting guy who looks strangely like Wei Shin if he had no hair. Almost like they just took Wei Shin's model and edited it a little bit.
Big Calvin type with the tank top.
The Calvin type with the tank top, the girl with the eye patch. And I have a question.
The femme fatale.
Is the black dude, is that GSP?
You would think. I mean, he's like an MMA fighter.
Well, he's an
GSP's
MMA fighter, and his voice talent sounds off.
It might be, dude. I don't know.
I'm gonna Google it real fast. Anyway, continue us on.
So we get out of the boat, and you can pick a fight with anyone around here if you want. They're all available to fight. You just have to approach them, and they'll give you a heck of a fight. But this takes place on another Shaolin Temple sort of island place, so there's a lot of running upstairs while you get to the sort of main area. And they introduce a new collectible, the Fire Opal Jade Statue. And it's said that if you collect all the Fire Opal Jade statues, which I had to come back to this island to get them all, then you'll unlock new abilities, new movesets, and like a new costume or whatever. So when you start this DLC, you run around the beach, you're running up the stairs, collecting the Jade Opal statues, and I think there are like 4 or 5 in this early area. But each one also, in addition to counting down to ability and costume unlocks, it gives you like trivia for martial arts. Like it'll be like karate, originated in China in year 5 or whatever. Mixed martial arts, blah, blah, blah. So just another, like, again, when I said earlier, they bleed out every mechanic for all that it's worth.
Yeah.
They couldn't give you a DLC that's all about fighting without adding one other Sleeping Dogs mechanic. So they bring in the collectibles.
Yeah, the Fire Opal
the Fire
statues.
Opal Jade statues.
If you get all those, you get like special moves with the branded
it's
MMA
MMA stuff.
Clothing, the preset outfits, which I never wear because they don't have shoes.
I know.
I'm not walking around without shoes on in Hong Kong.
I'm not a fan of it. And the ability you get is I think it's GSP's like Superman punch.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just Superman punch.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it because there's a lot of fighting, a lot of environmental text. I would have liked if this was just a place you could go kind of like Ratchet and Clank style, just go back and have like these wild...
Shoot everyone.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is the hazard match where there's hazards everywhere or something like that. You remember like old school Ratchet and Clank? It was like they would get progressively harder. You could return there as the game went on. And you have more new challenges to do, and it could be a way to like get upgrades.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's what I kind of wanted this to be, but I liked.
It was more in the line of Mortal Kombat you and I played, where you play as Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Shaolin monks.
Yeah, it was more like that, where at the end they're big gears, and you have to throw dudes into the gears.
Yeah, see, that was the cool stuff. I wanted more of stuff like that.
There's nothing else in the game like that.
No, I would have loved it. Like, oh, you have to be throwing these people into these gongs, to extend your time or something.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, fill up this water pot with as many people as you can.
Or something like that, and they do it in another DLC as well, which we'll get to.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But I liked it. I thought this was probably one of the strongest of the DLCs.
I think like probably story wise, it was better than the other two.
Yeah, well,
maybe not the third.
The lady's like
was,
the lady
was
poisons you, which I don't know why Wei Shin would have taken her poison tea. Anyway.
That too is a Bruce Lee reference.
Yep.
Because he died after drinking some tea. People say it was allergies or whatever. Some people say it was poisoned. But once that lady approached with the eye patch and the clear indication that she's the femme fatale for this story.
Oh, very obviously. She's wearing like a skin tight one-piece suit and like an eye patch.
Black Cat does this to Batman every time that they ever interact.
Catwoman.
Or yeah, sorry. I got Black Cat on the mind. You know how I am. But
she's available in Marvel Rivals now.
Every time they interact, she poisons him, screws him over, or something. Like Wei Shin should know better. He is Batman in this story.
Yeah, this is fun to go do once you've unlocked all of your moves. It's kind of like a show of skill.
Yeah,
I think the worst part of the whole DLC was just like running from one point to the next.
Stupid poison? No, I hated the poison.
And the poison, where you had to walk slow, get the flower, blah blah.
God, it was trash. Did you collect all the Fire Opal Jade statues or whatever?
No.
I did, but I had to go back to the island, so I had to get on a boat after finishing this, go all the way around to the other side of the island, because there are like 2 that are only available while you're poisoned, and you have to go way out of your way. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So
no, I didn't really feel like it.
So yeah, to open the story, they give you an opportunity to talk to all the contestants, and then they put you in like a battle royale.
Yeah, I thought that was fun, and I liked how at the very end there's like the big bad boss, the Shang Tsung guy, is like, oh, you must fight each other, and then Wei Shin's just like, hey, whichever one of us
Let's
gets out
kill
of
him.
here, we're gonna kill that guy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, and they the first thing they do is grab a guy and chunk him into the
I know,
cogs.
dude. It's not gonna be you, buddy. Sorry. Yeah, lots of good environmental kills. In this one, you get to roast people alive in those
Yeah.
big ovens. That dude, though, that you referenced is also just the villain from Enter the Dragon, the guy with the Wolverine hand. He's like missing his hand, and he puts on an attachment.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
3 giant claws. That's how Bruce Lee gets all the scars. That's so iconic when he's in the mirror room. He gets it from that dude in this game that Wei Shin beats up.
It just makes me think of Kung Pao, the guy with the iron claw on the rope, and he's just on top of the mountain,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
swinging like that. He just goes up there and swings it around for fun, like for hours.
Man, Kung Pao was that was a movie I snuck into. I have fond memories of Kung Pao.
I need to go back and watch it and see if it's as good as I remember it being.
Don't do that to yourself, dude. Don't ruin it.
But we go to fight the Shang Tsung guy. Fun fight, man. It's probably one of the more fun boss fights in the entire game.
Oh yeah, he has that drunken master.
Yeah, a lot of
fist thing going
countering,
on.
a lot of I like it whenever like it's like it makes you think. You start throwing some of your good moves and they're dodging or blocking or countering them, and you have to kind
Yeah,
of
the dim mock doesn't work on this guy.
exactly. Yeah, this was a fun battle. I enjoyed it a lot. And then we beat him. And what happens? I can't remember.
Yeah, we kill him, throw him off the.
He says
building.
something, and it's like this.
He tries to buy his survival here. Gives him money.
Yeah, I think Wei Shin just cracks his neck. Yeah, he cracks
That's right.
cracks his neck, and then he
Puts him,
just,
this is a classic Bruce Lee kill move. Puts him in a guillotine choke and then pulls he's just breaking.
And he just has the coin line like, no, not even close. And he walks off and like cut to credits pretty much. It says the end. Yeah, Zodiac Tournament. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
It was definitely a DLC expansion of the era.
Like a little
I
quick,
bet-
maybe hour or two to get through it.
I bet if I was playing this stuff at the point in which it were released, I would really have enjoyed it. But playing it as I did here, it just felt like, I don't know, it felt again like just kind of like, all right, that was fun, I guess. I like the references.
It would have been nice if there was more to take with you from there into the main story, but there was not.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk about Year of the Snake or Nightmare on North Point first?
Well, actually, we need to talk about Dr. Tang. We forgot about Dr.
Dr. Tang. We do need to talk about Dr. Tang. Dr. Tang is a character who does show up in the favors, and he also is the one who gives you the Road Rampage mission line, which is a DLC. Now
You mentioned that to me. You mentioned that to me at the end of like our first or second recording, and I had no idea what you were talking
What's
about.
really funny is I did the Dr. Tang Road Rampage missions first. And that's the one where you basically get like this James Bond car.
And then you meet him in the world, and he was like, "Hey, I'm Dr. Tang."
Yes,
I did the same thing.
I did the same thing. I guess
Same.
I mean whenever something gets added in post game like that, I guess maybe it was just a how do you reprogram that,
Well, I think you just patch in different voice lines.
Yeah, I think
you
you're
just
right.
change.
Like, oh hey, it's me, Dr. Tang. Remember me?
Yeah,
You did those other
that's
missions
how
for
you
me
do it.
first. Okay, yeah, I got more for you.
So,
But yeah, I did the other.
regardless, a funny moment.
Yeah, his Road Rampage missions are super fun. They're very explosive, very action heavy. There's like, you're basically every time you do one of these missions, the car gets upgraded with a new feature. It has an EMP blast. You can like disable cars at a radius. It's got twin minigun turrets that pop up out of the sides. What else does it have? It has got like the best battering ram that you can get in the game, I think.
It's incredibly fast. Is it actually the best car as far as like speed?
I don't know if it's the best for speed, but utility-wise, it's the best thing you could possibly
for sure.
have.
But that thing, it's incredibly fast as well. Mm-hmm. You get going in that sucker. But yeah, these missions were always fun. This was a nice way for them to shake up all of the different mechanics that we've gotten accustomed to, because you don't do anything else like with the martial arts tournament and like throwing guys into the grinder so that you don't get stabbed by the pokes in the ceiling.
I'd say
they
worst
added
part,
a layer.
Yeah, the worst part about this is after you finish all of it, you do get the car, and the car is amazing. But they give you these like battle royale icons on the map. Did you go do any of those?
I hated them. I did one.
I was like,
this
oh
sucks.
wow, this is gonna be awesome. It's called like Road Derby or something like that. And I was like, oh, it's gonna like put me in like an arena, and I can like shoot stuff with the car. That'd be so fun. And it's like the most BS. Like it just kind of puts you in the middle of the street, and then the enemies are being generated just kind of out of eye shot distance around a corner, and they just kind of drive past, and it's so boring. Like it's
it's really not good.
It's very poorly designed.
It would be nice. Like the fundamental problem that you run into with the character you play in this game is that no one is up to the challenge to fight you in any area. No, like gun combat
with that car. Heck no.
Hand to hand, and then now, with automobile combat, no one is up to the challenge. Those derbies would be fun if there was like
put you in three other,
if there was 3 other DZS 90s out there with drivers whose like AI was competent enough to give you, the player, a good time.
Yeah,
but they don't do that. They put everyone else in the classic red car that you've shot 1 trillion times. And,
I was just thinking about that. It's like all the red sedan is like the typical bad guy car,
or like the red motorcycle, and then they like you said, they randomly generate around the corner, and you just have to fight 30 of them in a certain amount of time. No, again, there's just a reuse of the basic mechanics without very many like wrinkles on top of them to make them fun throughout the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This mission line with Dr. Tang added enough new wrinkles, like with the EMP, the machine guns, the first couple where you hop from car to car. That was fun. It was just slightly different. Mm-hmm. They did a good job of shaking things up with this one. Maybe better than like any of the other mission lines. This one, it's just different.
Yeah, it was close to being something really special, but it was enough to where it was one of the more fun side quests to do.
Yeah, it was just enjoyable.
Shame that it was post-release content.
Right.
So
after we complete that, we get the DZS 90 with like 3 different color schemes.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
And it's incredible. Great car.
So yeah, we have 2 other DLCs. We have Nightmare in North Point and Year of the Snake. I kind of want to talk about Year of the Snake first.
Okay.
Year of the Snake, I did not like at all. I did not enjoy it. The coolest part about Year of the Snake, you play as Wei Shin in like strictly police mode.
Yeah, it's post-game.
For better or for worse. And I'm assuming this is canonical to the story.
That's what I was going to say. Unlike the other one, which has to just be an offshoot. I mean, what if when they do the inevitable Sleeping Dogs revisit, they make Nightmare in North Point canonical, and this one is the side story?
I mean, I would prefer that. Fair enough, dude. I would prefer that because
there was some really weird supernatural stuff in the true crime series that people forgot about.
Year of the Snake is like, okay, there's a cult and they're blowing up bombs all over the city, and it's up to
want to say this
as Wei Shin, the police officer, to go get them.
I think the setup had amazing potential to be a fantastic, awesome series of missions, but it totally falls flat.
Well, the idea that Tang is like, hey, I'm putting you back on the street. You're a beat cop. Like you're after everything you've done and with property damage and all this crazy stuff.
All the people
we can still use you, but we don't need you. The Sun On Yi stuff is taken care of. We need cops on the streets, and so you get to go. I think it would have been
No more action hijack. Well, I guess maybe you can.
I think you can, but there's no reason to. This would have been a great time to have you do strictly like police stuff, like normal, like you said, like the Spider-Man, like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man missions.
Neighborhood
just doing police work, helping people. Maybe like you can go help someone fix something, just stuff like that, and it gradually goes into it. But it's New Year's Eve, and there's a cult, and they're blowing up bombs all over the city, and you gotta go stop them. Just through like kind of the same old missions that we've seen throughout everything else, fight these guys. But here's the thing. This is what makes it suck, is that because you're in police-wation mode, you lose access to all of your grapple moves.
Yeah, dude.
All of your grapple moves are gone, and you have the stun gun, which sucks.
All you have is the taser.
And
your garage, too.
Your garage
is only police vehicles.
And you have to unlock the police vehicles. You don't
dude.
You get like the cruiser and like maybe that one good sports car.
You
and
get that cool one.
I hate that SUV. The SUV sucks. I never use that thing. But the thing about using the stun gun is that like when you grapple someone, you hold on to them, your arm break is gone, your leg break is gone, your ability to do any kind of move that follows the grapple mechanic is gone. And there's the enemy types you fight, like specifically the brawlers. Those are designed to be grappled and to follow up with it because they block your regular moves. And they're like the antithesis to the grapplers. The grapplers you cannot grab. The brawlers you have to grab. But because the only thing you have to follow up with is the stun gun,
you just stun them for 5 minutes.
Those guys end up being the hardest ones to fight because you're just waiting to take on those guys last to throw them into something, hopefully in the environment, which you don't get a lot of. You don't get a lot of environmental stuff in this one. And then on top of that, anytime you have to steal a car to go somewhere, you have to
show them your badge.
You have to sit through the badge, like, police officer, I need your car. And it takes what is essentially the most like grab someone, take them out of the car, and sit in it, like animation, and triples the amount of time it takes for you to get into a car. And it's so aggravating. So just with that being said, applying all of that to all the missions you're going to do, just think about playing all the missions that we've played up to at this point, but you lost all your grapple moves, and everything's just way more inconvenient. That's what this is. That's what the gameplay is in You're the Snake. And it's like, they purposely every time you do
no more police chases. Yeah, you don't get to be chased by the police.
Yeah, and you actually can be chased by the police. I got chased by the police.
You can?
In between. I accidentally ran over a pedestrian and I got chased by the police as police weighed in. I had to lose the cops. But like every like little bit of progression you do, you get like a batch of like 3 missions. It's like stop the bomb here, and they just spread them across the map, and it's like I gotta go all over the place. And I don't have my cars. I'm just gonna use the taxis. I don't have any money. I don't have, like all the stuff I unlocked didn't carry over, and also you do all the missions, which are just kind of unremarkable up until the point you get to the finale. Which once you get to the finale, it just shows up.
It's
like, hey, there's the leader.
I know.
Let's follow
the guy.
him in this boat.
Go get him.
And then you get in the boat and you do like the slowest boat chase with Tang driving a boat. And there's only one thing about this that I remember wanting to talk about, and it's the phone call that Ting has in the boat on the drive there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, where she's like talking. Who is she talking to? And
I'm assuming
she's having a conversation
it's her
with
superintendent,
someone,
whoever the new
and
superintendent
all you get is her side of the conversation.
Yeah, she's talking about aliens.
Oh my god.
She's talking about aliens, and I was like, oh, is this like some kind of hint to like something supernatural or whatever? No, it's just a throwaway phone call, and then you shoot a bunch of boats. You shoot like 10,000 boats. Then you get to like this barge that we've been on before, and you shoot all these people, and then you fight the guy at the end. Yeah. Do you even fight him? I don't even think you fight him. Do you fight him?
Let me see. Gosh, all the shootouts.
I can pull up my gameplay.
Yeah, I'm looking here. Maybe you don't actually fight him. Okay, you arrest him. I guess it's kind of up to you.
Well, and he's like, my job here is done. Everything you've done have been for nothing.
I know, dude.
And then you cuff him, and then Wei Shin looks at his watch that he doesn't have. He doesn't have a watch.
It's a good
and
joke.
He's like,
it's a good joke.
3, 2, 1, and then the fireworks go off, and then nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then you cuff him. That's the end. And I thought, like, surely there's another mission after this. Like,
yeah, me too.
Where there was something that we missed. Nope. That's it.
Because the villain is confident. He's like, you haven't won, Wei Shin. He's like, he's certain that he got something over on us, but then it just falls flat.
Did we miss something?
Stops.
Did we miss something?
No clue. Maybe there's more DLC to come, dude.
like, do you have to like 100% it to see something else? Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe so. I don't know either.
I'm about to Google it.
Yeah, maybe we didn't do our homework well enough on this one, but. For the game that you and I had, we just approached it as we approached all the other missions, and it just kind of ended. Yeah, I, again, want to say, the setup to this DLC is maybe my favorite of any of the kind of like path of like chain of missions off of the main story. But the changing of the grapple mechanic was huge. I grapple all the time. I love the grapple strike combinations. I really found it hilarious that you could just hold your taser in your enemy for like 60 seconds straight while they're just being electrocuted. But that got old really quickly, especially when you continue to take damage while you grapple tase. And I also really liked the setup to the story with these cultists, and like I enjoy when they color code the enemy classes, like the enemy types that you're fighting have become color coded in this DLC. But yeah, about halfway through or not even halfway, like once you get through the first third of the DLC, it just becomes extremely repetitive, and the ending.
It says here.
Is there a difference?
No, it just says here that the arrest of this Master Chu character was put off, like Wei held off the arrest so he could demonstrate that the apocalypse that the Master prophesied would not occur. So at precisely midnight, maybe that's what did it.
Great.
At precisely midnight, Wei Shin put him under arrest as fireworks celebrated. So maybe it's just like because it was midnight when he arrested him precisely, it messed up the prophecy or whatever. But also some trivia here. It says Master Chu's actions in the cult scene in the Year of the Snake DLC may have been inspired by that of Shoko Asahara, leader of the Japanese doomsday cult, Aum Shinrikyo. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Who were responsible for the 1995 Tokyo subway sarin gas attacks. So it could be something that was...
well, they definitely honored that story well with this DLC.
Either way, I didn't like it. I actually played that one this morning, and I was like, I don't even want to finish it. Like I was this close to being like, I think I'm just gonna turn it off and look up the videos. Like I was not having fun with it at all.
I didn't hate it. I didn't enjoy where this thing ended up. But I didn't really enjoy the other one either that we're about to talk about, Nightmare at North Point. I was pretty sour on this thing throughout most of its
same
game.
So just to cap off my thoughts on Year of the Snake, I think you nailed it. I think it's the potential it could have been. The ideas I love that it played with.
I love that it starts after the main game story with like consequences for what happened in this story. Like for me, it's like, oh, this feels like a serialized narrative, like we're watching a cop drama. They should have consequences for the insanity that just happened. And like bringing it down to the beat level, and then you like run up on these cultists, like the potential for telling a great cop drama was huge. And then it just becomes repetitive, boring, and not fleshed out like at all. So they should have gone a little deeper into anything that involved the cult, but they kept it super surface level.
Yeah, I think that brings us to our final DLC, Nightmare in North Point. I think this one was better than Year of the Snake. That's not saying much. I think it was okay. I remember playing both of... I hardly remember playing Year of the Snake when I played previously, and I guess I got my answer why, because it's completely forgettable. But I remember playing Nightmare in North Point, and I remember something about the combat that's really not fun because it takes away your freedom of like freeform combat. And when we played, as soon as you get to the first battle with like the supernatural creatures,
the Jiangshi or something like that.
Yeah, so I'm aware of like Chinese horror, like old school Chinese horror. Those particular creatures I know from like the Darkstalkers character. I forget her name. She's in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But it's the ghost with the hat, and they jump. They put their arms up, and they jump very slowly towards you. You have to put the thing on their
Kingdom
face.
Hearts.
Yeah, you have to put the thing on the face and hit them. So I think it was cool, the attention to to detail in the Chinese culture, which, by the way, You're a Snake, I forgot to mention. You're the Snake. The coolest part of that whole DLC is the traditions and the fun facts about Chinese New Year that you get after you do each mission. Instead of getting dossier updates about these characters, you get fun facts about Chinese culture. That's the best part of the whole DLC.
Get some lore.
And then, Nightmare on North Point starts off. It's kind of got this like every game was doing a horror DLC in this age,
dude. There really was a glut of this. I don't like the tone. I don't like it's like
silly horror,
comedy horror almost.
Yeah,
I just don't like it. It didn't land with me.
So it has Wei Shin and not Ping. Specifically not Ping.
There she is.
As
she came back.
His canonical girlfriend, like walking around enjoying their date. And then like all of a sudden, like a portal to hell opens up and then all these ghosts are showing up. And the entire town kind of gets reskinned. All the characters have like glowing eyes and like kind of this ethereal sound in their voice, and they have like bloodstains all over them. It reminds me. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of
Blood Dragon.
The final episode, not the final episode, the final level of The Simpsons Hit and Run, where everything's completely normal, but everything's all spookified.
Yeah,
like all the traffic is spooky.
They did it better.
Yeah,
I do like the random cars exploding.
Yeah, the random cars exploding is great.
That was kind of fun.
Also, I don't understand why they would even give you access to all the other areas of the map when this all takes place exclusively in North Point.
There's nothing going on.
There's no reason to go anywhere. You can go over there though. You can drive out there, but there's no point. I don't know why they didn't just lock the map to North Point for whatever reason. It's just there just to be there.
I don't know, dude. I think the opposite would be just as equal. If they locked off the other parts of the map because there was nothing there, players would be like, "Wait, why can't I go up there? What's up there?"
I suppose. I don't know. I guess I'm
just not
one of
nothing.
I'm not one of those.
If the answer is nothing, then they would be like, "Well, I should be able to just drive there. Why can't I drive there?"
Yeah, because for me, I'm like, what's the point? Like,
the solution is to like put stuff there.
Just give us more. Make a better DLC.
Just spread it. Like, instead of clustering it all in North Point immediately, just take two.
It's a really weird decision.
Yeah, it's neither of the DLCs were
but yeah, the probably the worst part about this is the combat with the Chinese ghosts.
The Jiangshi. I think they're called Jiangshi. I'm not sure.
Jiangshi. Can we get like a I'm gonna Google it.
It's in here somewhere. But the game starts out, you're with Not Ping, you're on a date, walking out of the movie theater, ghost popping out of the ground, and a smiling Cheshire cat face man, ghost.
Jiangshi, Jiangshi. Jiangshi, also known as Chinese hopping vampire, is a type of undead creature or reanimated corpse in Chinese legends and folklore. Due to the influence of Hong Kong cinema, it is typically depicted in modern popular culture as a stiff corpse dressed in official garments from the Qing dynasty. Although the pronunciation of Jiangshi varies in different East Asian countries, all of them refer to the Chinese version of vampire. I'm not gonna get too deep into that article, this Wikipedia article, but that's what they are. And so they have like the ability to bite you, that you can counter and stuff. I like the attention to detail and like the Chinese culture aspect of it. But when you fight these things, the only way you can defeat them is by grappling them while they're stunned, and you do like a little glowing fist thing. I like the idea of your face meter being replaced.
Only after you get the special T.
Yeah, I like that your face meter is replaced with the like spectral like power meter. Yeah. Old Salty Crab, by the way, apparently is Not Ping's uncle. Yeah. So I guess that kind of explains like her tech background, because he's the guy that goes with you for other reasons. Like he has tech.
Their family loves Wei Shin.
They love him. I was hoping we would get more of like Old Salty Crab's weird like obsession with Wei Shin, but we didn't get that.
Well, once Not Pink swooped in, he let her have it.
Every now and again, you'll get these characters trapped in like this kind of like stranglehold, and you have to like.
Yeah, it's like a crucifix.
You have to grab the Jiangshi, and you have to toss them into like this spectral well. And then after that, and what's really sucks is you go on this fetch quest, like you said, to make the specialty, you get the specialty, and then that gives you the ability to replace your face meter with that spectral ability. and then you have to fight Jingxi, like endless Jingxi, to get your meter to fill up all the way, and only then can you beat up the demons you have to fight. And there's this overarching story about Big Scar Wu.
Yao Guai.
Yeah, Big Scar Wu, who was this, he was a Sun On Yi, and Uncle Po had him whacked, and because he was such a bad dude, they had him turned into cat food at the Smiley Cat Food Factory. That's how he got the nickname Smiley Cat that he does not like. And apparently they put him in the poo-poo mix and not the high-protein mix, and cats would throw him up. Except they did save a piece of his thumb that is, for some reason, in a graveyard that you'll have to go and eventually grab to throw into the fire. And once you burn that, then Smiley Cat dies and he goes away forever. And everyone's happy, and Not Ping and Wei Shin get to go about their lives. And then she does a Michael Jackson's Thriller, turn to the camera, and her eyes are glowing.
Glowing, yeah.
I thought that was kind of funny. I enjoyed that part, like the throwback to the Michael Jackson Thriller music video. But all that being said, as you're doing this, you do unlock more side quest stuff to do in the form of basically the same thing that you've been doing. I didn't do any of them.
Taking out Zhang Shi, waiting for your meter to fill so you can punch a Yao Guai, throwing them into their little portal wells. I did a lot, dude, because all of those little side missions are in the open world. I killed tons of vampire ghosts with cars. I can't tell you how many times I ran through a crowd of vampires, and then whipped the tail of the car around to hit them again. It was incredibly effective. I don't know why every vampire hunter doesn't just drive and hit them with their car. That's all that I did, though. As far as like the story stuff goes in this thing, I ran them over with my car and I did the main missions.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
I didn't do any side content here. I just remember,
also you get a sword.
Yeah,
you get the cherrywood sword.
Peachwood. You get the Peachwood sword,
Peachwood, yeah.
and you can use that to quickly dispatch some of the Yao Guai demons.
Yeah, the Yao Guai especially, because it's very annoying having to have your meter all the way up.
If I remember correctly, if you do the side stuff, I think you get like special costumes, like from the main game, like the.
Once, dude, I started getting them, and I went back to my apartment to change, and they were all worse than the one that you start with. I was kind of upset about it. So I didn't finish any of the other ones.
No,
so
I remember them not being worth it. I trusted my gut, and I just did the main stuff. I think that this is better than You're the Snake. Excuse me, You're the Snake, but I don't think it's better than Zodiac Tournament. And
I don't know, dude. I'm not sure that I can agree with that ranking.
I don't know.
Each one for me, each one had like cool stuff about it, but then huge drawbacks. Like, I think the Zodiac Tournament structurally is the worst one. Because there are these long stretches of walking around, you get poisoned, and the only thing that you do is fight. And there's some interesting things in the fighting, but like overall, it felt like just a big pointless like time.
Well, the reason I think it's the best, and look, none of this is by a long shot at all.
Yeah.
The reason I think it's the best is because it is integrated into the main story. That's the
Sure.
only reason why. Because it's just a short side quest. It's like less than an hour side quest. It's like you could probably do it in like 30 minutes.
Yeah, dude, it's very fast. Actually, I recorded my gameplay and it was right around a half hour.
So like I think because like design flaws aside, which I do agree with, by the way, it just didn't feel like a waste of time. You're the Snake felt like a waste of time. And half of Nightmare at North Point felt like a waste of time. I liked the idea of the callback to Uncle Po and like this guy. Like, I liked the world building aspect of that, but
dude, we I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say everything in You're the Snake felt completely useless. like it just was it wasn't memorable at all.
Nightmare in North Point also brings back Dog Eyes, Rat Face, and Ponytail.
Yes.
So those are some big characters to come back. But these again, it all feels like it's a spin-off sort of story. Like their return doesn't feel worth it or valuable. It's like when in shonen anime they do these big crossovers with Goku and Naruto and stuff, and it's like, okay, that's cool, I guess, but stop. Let's be real. Goku's not fighting Luffy. He's way better. Shut up. It's not even close. It's dumb, and y'all are stupid for even considering it. But it's like the same thing, like when they bring back Ratface and Ponytail, it's like you're bringing him back in name only. Or like when The Undertaker came back as an 80-year-old man, it's like, stop! He's a shell of who he used to be. He's
there could have been some more
once
meaningful
was.
stuff. Maybe some of the characters having regrets. And
Yeah, dude.
maybe
I
like
see them come back, and I'm like, there's potential here. And then it's just, because it's like kind of a comedy, they just kind of like, I don't know.
Not to mention,
fizzles out.
you just kind of revisit old places you've been to before, like action set piece areas, like Club Bam Bam and the fish area and all that stuff. And it's. Oh, in Year of the Snake specifically, I forgot to mention, there's one where you have to go to the docks and shoot up a bunch of people, and that area just sucked navigating through.
It did.
I did that mission. I had to go across the map to go find Inspector Ting to do the last part, and then I had to go right back to the docks. I was like, ugh, like.
Man, too much reuse of areas.
Yeah, I
across the
appreciate
DLCs.
them trying, but these DLCs, I believe, were not free. If you didn't get the definitive edition, and I could not recommend any of it.
Yeah, me neither, man. I think maybe we should use this as our opportunity to transition into like our kind of review of what we've played here. Did we miss anything? Did we talk about anything, or have we not talked about something?
No, I think that's really it.
I think we missed talking about Katushka, the kidnapping victim.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that real fast. There was one more casework to do with Inspector Tang, and after you do the girlfriend mission for Tiffany specifically, I think it is, you get a call from Ileana. And
After you do...
At least that's what I got it. I got it after doing
okay.
the Tiffany girlfriend mission. And then she calls and says, hey, Katushka, which is one of the girls I work with, has been like kidnapped, right? And it starts the detective work, the case work for like this ring of girls being kidnapped.
Traffickers.
Yeah, human traffickers. I didn't do it. I didn't have enough time, but I have done it
I'll tell you
before.
about it.
But yeah, let me know what happens with that.
So, so you work with Ileana and Inspector Ting. You guys come up with a plan. Finding out who this trafficker is, his name is Yar. Yar Kwai Guy, or I don't remember. But Yar Kwai Lai. So you find out it's this guy. He's a gambling man as well. And you, Inspector Ting, and Ileana decide to go undercover to the gambling location. I believe it might be a houseboat. I don't remember. But you go there with Ileana. She's your date. And you lose in Mahjong, which is very hard for me. I'm very good at Mahjong. No, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was like, great, I'll go lose very easily. So you go lose at Mahjong, and like your final hand is like, look, I don't have any more money, but I'll throw in this girl. I'll throw in my date for the night. You can take her home. And so Yar Kwai Lai is like, I don't know about all that, getting into this kind of business. Even we know what he's up to, but he's putting up a front. So Wei Shin's like, I insist, I need to make my money back, but if I lose, you can take her home. And so Yar is like, all right. So you lose the hand. Ileana, I think she comes back with you, but you go then drop her off at Yar. Yar's like, bring her to the pier or whatever, and we'll go from there. And so like you put a tracking device on their car. I don't remember. You're able to follow their location. And so like they're driving around the city and you're following them, trying to keep up with them. Eventually they stop, they get in a boat, and they go to an island. Again, with the kidnappers in these islands. This must be a big thing in Hong Kong. But
I guess.
You end up going to the island, and you remember those police camera segments where you had to go under the
drainage canals.
The canals.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah.
You basically go to another one of those, and you find Yar and his gang.
I remember this. Yeah, I remember.
You kill a bunch of people, and then you find Katushka and Ileana, and you rescue them both from the little cages they're in. And Ileana's like, I got to get out of here. I got to leave because she's got passport or visa issues. She's Russian. She's like, I'm getting out of here. Thanks for all the help. You're the greatest. You're the most decent gangster I've ever known. And so that's where it ends. You help to blow the human trafficking ring with Dr. Ting. That's a different character.
Dr.
With
Tang. Inspector Ting.
Oh, okay. Well, this I still don't know how to do chopsticks very well either, so maybe this is fraudulent of me to judge this, but that's how the kidnapping storyline goes.
Well, I like doing the detective work, like the cases with Ting. I think that's the best like cop stuff you do in the game.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that. It actually like they each carry their own story that was worth seeing out. Unlike the stories in the DLCs, to me they weren't worth their time. You know, like the time investment. I'm not going to say I regret it. It's nothing like that. But like, if I consider an hour of playing Nightmare in North Point, knowing what I know now, I would suggest just skipping it.
What sucks the most is that like there's so few of them. I think Year of the Snake and Nightmare in North Point both give you stuff that you can bring with you, or maybe it's just one of them, to the main story. But at that point, I mean, both of those you'd have to play at the end of the game. There should be like some kind of message on there. It says like, hey, you should finish the main game before you do this because there's story spoilers. And it doesn't even have a warning. And like, if you were to play them correctly, you'd have to play the main game first. And by that time, I mean, I hate when games give you stuff after 100%ing them or like finishing them. It's like, I don't need this stuff anymore. It would have been nice if I could have earned this earlier through some kind of like means, but.
Or like if there's a challenge, like unlock a challenge mode to use this super awesome gun or whatever the unlock is. Like, give me a reason for the awesome unlock besides just I unlocked it. I don't care for that. So I think that's all of the important content worth talking about in Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, that's the meat of it. I wanted to float you an idea, sir.
Hit me.
Firstly, we're gonna move on to like just kind of like a general review here in a second. But as we do these games, let's keep a tally of the games and let's make like a list of our favorite games, like of all the games that we played and which ones are better than which and why.
Dude, absolutely. So when the earliest stages of Game Pack, so you and I had been thinking about sort of game club concepts independently of each other before we came together to ever do this thing. One of the ideas I had for my sort of game club equivalent was to do that exact thing, to keep track of all the games and figure out a way to rank them. And obviously it's hard to rank, like, especially when you're talking about the subjectivity of two different opinions like you and I. It's hard to rank, like, I think, you know, Gundam Wing is worse than Gundam 1979 or whatever. Like, it's really tough to figure that out. But we can figure out criteria by which to rank them. And if we want, we can utilize the criteria we came out with for the Gamepad Pass project, where we did the like holds up. What was it? Holds up, fans of the series.
Like must play, fans of the series, fans of the genre, and skip.
We should rate by must play level. Like how crucial, if you're a gamer, is it for you to play these games? I don't know how else you would compare them, because you're talking about games from.
I was gonna say all the conventional metrics with a little sprinkle of bias. I mean, that's really maybe some nostalgic bias, maybe some I just like these characters bias, or maybe we're playing a game that has a lot of country music in it, and Tyler really likes country music, so he just likes it better.
How dare you?
And I hate country music, so I'm like, I can't do it.
I don't like.
Even though it's the best game ever, I can't listen to country the whole time.
So I like the I that sounds good to me.
Okay.
If let's frame it like how important it is for a gamer to play this. Like, number one is like you gotta play this game, and number last is like, yeah, you can skip this.
So you want to do 1 through 10? You want to do scale 1 to 10?
Oh, like by number.
Like, do you want
to give it a number?
Do you want to do numbers?
Yeah, dude, let's do numbers, because we can have our own criteria.
Okay,
we don't have to abide by
let's do numbers.
IGN.
So yeah, 1 through 10. I like 1 through 5 better than 1 through 10, but everybody does 10. So whatever number range that you want to use.
Let's do 1 through 5 with half point decimals.
Okay,
just 1 through 10, dude.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
I don't know. I've always just hated the 1 through 10 because it's like anything 6 or below is technically failing by like grade school curriculum stuff.
It's a tough one. I think we just have to go with our gut on these things. Like, if we consider,
let's get a bar of color, one side being red and one side being green, and a gradient from green to red, and put a little arrow of where it goes.
Yeah.
I think Sleeping Dogs. Let's talk about it. And we'll just decide in the end. We'll go.
Yeah,
from
let's
there.
review.
I think Sleeping Dogs is an incredible game if you mainline it and do a minimal amount of the side content. I think that if it were to be on that gradient of green to red, it would be in the area where the yellow and green kind of start melding together. I think it's like if I were to say a scale of 1 to 10, 7.5. If I were to say...
Well, that's a 20-point scale. That's 1 through 10 with half points. Dude, we can do that. That's the Metacritic way. You see what I'm saying?
I don't do numbers. I don't do math,
if you've got 10 points, but then you're considering the half point as well, you then just have 20. You have 20 points.
I mean,
but that's okay, dude.
I'll do half decimals. I won't do any decimals in between.
Okay, all right. No,
because I don't think Sleeping Dogs is an 8 because it does have problems in its vanilla that I'd have to judge it on. And then I don't think it's quite a 7 because it's not. If you're mainlining it, this is asterisk. If you're mainlining with, I'd say mainlining favors as you go, the girlfriend missions, and finding collectibles as you go, specifically the Jade statues, maybe the Zodiac tournament. I wouldn't even bother with Year of the Snake. I wouldn't even bother with Nightmare at North Point unless it's just like really cool, like you really vibe with the world and the characters and you want to play it. Those are completely skippable, I think. And I'm not factoring those into my decision-making process here because they are optional. You do not have to play them. And they were DLC, and it was kind enough for them to package it into a definitive edition. And I would say play the definitive edition because it does look a lot better than the PS3 version. There are graphical differences and, of course, load time differences. But that would be PC. That would be my end score. It would be like a 7.5 if you just do the mainline missions and those side things I just mentioned. If you're a completionist, I'd say this is probably a lower score for you, much lower score.
Probably.
But I'm not a completionist.
Well, just
typically.
Give me let me do this. Give me your score for what you played, rather than trying to project or predict or get in front of someone else's gameplay. For what you played, which includes Year of the Snake and Nightmare in North Point, all that other stuff. Okay,
7. It takes that half point away. 7 because those two DLCs, while skippable, they're not the worst thing I've ever played, and they're kind of short. So I don't mind that. It'd be different if it was like, oh yeah, this is like a Ballad of Gay Tony level DLC, but it just sucks. I'd be like, okay, yeah, no. But that's what I would say.
Okay, fair enough. So utilizing the same scale, I think I'm going to give it a 7.5 for what I played. I'm with you on the critiques for the DLC. Absolutely. I think that if I had played Sleeping Dogs as a base game, especially around the time that it came out, it would probably be higher than maybe like an 8.5.
Hold on, keep talking. I'm gonna grab something.
Okay, for sure. But since I played most of the story for the first time this time, it was novel to me, and I enjoyed all of that. While things being fairly predictable, it was still there were some good twists and turns along the way. I enjoyed Wei Shin's story.
Let me show you something. Right here, nice. My original copy, playing this game, just the base game. No DLCs, no extras. That was almost the best experience.
Well, so this brings to mind when we were talking about the game's review on like the second episode, they had GSP pack. I like GSP. I remember saying like, I wonder why Definitive Edition reviewed worse than the base game, and now I see why. Because as a package, if you imagine each game being $70 or whatever, $60 as a package, Sleeping Dogs, as coming out first, was really solid, and it's the first time that you're in this world. It's the first time you experience these characters. Adding those DLCs just muddies it a lot.
Yeah. I think the definitive
Qualitatively.
edition, the best parts of the definitive editions were the technical things, like the reflections and the water and like when it was raining, because it rains a lot in that game, and just the lighting upgrades and stuff like that was the best part of the definitive edition.
So I think I'm going to give it a 7.5, and that is in the context of playing it in 2026 all the way through for the first time, considering how it holds up, recognizing its history and like maybe the impact it had at the time, but just judging it on the experience that I had this time, I think a 7.5 is deserving.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And while we're on the topic, we should probably rate Super Metroid because we played that.
Yeah, we did. And at the time when we finished it, we kind of eschewed any ratings or rankings because it's because of its age. But I'm okay with reviewing it and rating it. Give me yours.
Super Metroid?
Yeah.
10. I loved it. If I had to, I mean, our gripes with it were very minimal, and if I were to just detract points for those minimal complaints, it would be like 9.9, 9.8. But I'm only doing half decimals, so since it doesn't break it down past a half, I would just say 10.
Sure,
I would just say 10.
I'm gonna go 9. I think for what Super Metroid is, I understand that it's very close to perfection when you consider being what the developer sets out to do and what they achieve. Like, these people nailed it in almost every way you can imagine with this game, with Super Metroid. The only reason that I don't have it at, like, recognizing its perfection but not giving it a perfect score is because I am playing it for the first time all the way through in 2026, just like with Sleeping Dogs. And with the added context and history of games that have come out since then, I've had game experiences in this genre that I liked better than this one, than Super Metroid. That doesn't mean, that's not to say that they are objectively or like more complete packages or anything, but just on a subjective taste level. I think Hollow Knight is the greatest one of these I've ever played. And I think it's probably just overall has more flaws, but there's something about, like, you know, the old saying, there's no accounting for taste. There's just something about the vibe of that game, which is hugely inspired by Super Metroid. Like, it wears it on its sleeve. But just having a kind of like a point of reference that supersedes that experience. It's weird to say that it brings it down for me, but like there's just a level of emotional connection that I haven't attained with Super Metroid that I did with something like Hollow Knight.
Fair enough.
And I think that's the difference. Like it earns the 9 from me because it achieves and nails and nails. But at least in one area where one other game that's extremely similar achieved, this one didn't achieve quite as much. And that is just the emotional, like, connecting to this piece of art. And I can imagine for someone like yourself or people who were playing it when it was new, the emotional connection was very easy to get there. But yeah, that's my experience. And also, if we want to rank these games as we continue, we need to determine whether Sleeping Dogs goes above or below Super Metroid.
Oh, below.
We need to get it. I'm going to get a marker board, and we'll just have a list.
Is that like a conjoined effort, like where we agree on it? Okay.
It needs to be like a game of the year sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
And I think it's probably going to be pretty easy. But I don't know. We'll figure that out if we ever run into something that's difficult to decide on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think Super Metroid for me personally, I think still it goes above Sleeping Dogs. But Sleeping Dogs is still a very fun game.
Yeah. Dude, I know. I had a great time with it.
Best part,
I had a really good time.
Best highlights are just the main story is great. The characters, the main characters are pretty great. The voice talent is pretty great. The world feels nice. I like the setting. I like the fact that it's not, our typical, we talked about at the beginning, it's not LA, it's not New York, it's Hong Kong. It feels very fitting. the mechanics all kind of balance out to that 7 out of 10 feel. The driving, the shooting, it all feels fine. But you combine it with a story that really hits pretty good with some cool set pieces, and I think that's kind of the best way to describe why I like it as much as I do.
I think, to put it in the terms that we used to talk about these kinds of games, if you're a person who is a fan of open world kind of crime genre in video games, like there aren't a whole lot of them, but there kind of are, I guess, in a weird way. Like you've got obviously the grandfather of them, Grand Theft Auto, but then you've got your mafias, your true crimes, of course, Sleeping Dogs.
Not as many of them these days, and the ones that do exist,
yeah,
it's like they struggle with them now. There was a game just came out called Samson. I'm not sure if you saw that game.
Yeah, I have been seeing.
I had been following that game for a while. I was like, this is pretty cool. It's kind of giving me some Sleeping Dogs energy.
Yeah.
Melee combat, driving cars, kind of has that kind of like grindhouse kind of flavor to it. Came out and it was just like, it's just not that great. Is
it like, are people saying it's just like too rip-offy, or
it had a lot of technical issues. A lot of technical issues. One of those games that they, what they showed versus what it is, two totally different things. And it's
Sure.
I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's not the worst thing in the world. I'm sure it's a competently put together game, but it just has like a lot of bloat and it's repetitive and stuff like that. Story is just kind of dumb. Talent's kind of like voice talent stuff's kind of like whatever. It's just mediocre. But either way, I think that is pretty much the show.
Well, we need to talk about what's next because we finished up Sleeping Dogs, and we've got to give these people something to play before we convene for our next episode.
So this next game is a game I've never played, and you have. So the tables have been turned. So I'm gonna let you decide on the checkpointing, where we should stop, because I don't want to look ahead and see anything.
I should have. I do that. All right, audience. This has been a hell of a week for me. There's just been a lot going on in my personal life. Just stuff around the house. Like I had to replace a water heater. Just out of nowhere, came home on Friday and the old one was leaking. So there's been a lot going on. Anyway.
I just don't want to look ahead and see anything.
No, I don't want you to. I don't want you to. This is something I've been meaning to do for the past week, and I had completely forgotten about it. Okay. All right. You ready? Mm-hmm. So, our stopping point for next week's initial Deus Ex mission or episode, we're going to do training. We're going to do the first mission, the first true mission, which is Liberty Island. And then the second true mission, which takes place in Battery Park, Hell's Kitchen, and the Warehouse District. So the game, it gives you missions, and then it puts you in areas with the expectation that you go solve the mission, like Dishonored, right? Mm-hmm. Like in Dishonored, giving an assassination, and they drop you in a part of the city.
Yeah,
and
you figure it out.
You've got little side quests. You go talk to a guy, and he's like, hey, help me kill the rats or whatever. For our first chunk of Deus Ex, training, Liberty Island, and then Battery Park, Hell's Kitchen, Warehouse District. And then we'll go from there. This is Brandon's first time playing Deus Ex.
I am aware of its cultural and industry significance, but I've never actually had the pleasure of playing it before, so I'll be playing it for the very first time.
It's another one of those, like when you talk about old games like Super Metroid and Deus Ex, you run into a lot of cliches because people have talked about these games for decades at this point.
Mm-hmm. I'm going in completely unbiased too, by the way. I'm going to try to play it completely vanilla first.
Okay.
Tyler, you had mentioned maybe some mods to kind of spiff it up a little bit, not necessarily to alter the gameplay, but to streamline things and fix technical issues. I'm going to go in completely raw, and if it's to the point where I'm having frustrations, I'll just use whatever mods you recommend.
Well, see here. Okay, so here's the thing for the audience and yourself to consider if you're downloading it for the first time. The regular definitive Game of the Year edition that's like on Steam or whatever, most machines will have to run a software renderer for the game to operate at all. If you try to render it with your graphics card, I don't know why there's weird incompatibility issues with modern hardware. It doesn't work, and the game just shreds into a million little polygonal fractals. You have to use a software renderer, which means it's rendering from your CPU, and it doesn't run well. Now, it's functional, and you can play the whole game in vanilla, but you're just not going to have a super smooth or like luxurious experience. The first time I ever played Deus Ex, I played it like that for about an hour or 2 hours, software rendering, and then I went and got the Deus Ex Revision mod. Now, I recommend this one, and this is different from what I told you in the past, and I need to revise that, actually. The Deus Ex Revision mod gives you stability and, visual improvements, while, if you want, keeping the game totally vanilla. They added other forms of content, like to change AI pathing and that sort of thing, to make it more modern. But if you want to forego anything that changes gameplay whatsoever, and you just want stability and visual improvements, Deus Ex Revision gives you that. It's how I'll be playing. I'm playing totally vanilla design-wise. I'm only using Revision for visuals and stability, so that I can run it on my modern hardware, and it looks good.
I'll probably end up having to do the same thing.
So if you want, here's the thing about it though. This is salient. They for whatever reason, Revision didn't touch training mode. So play training on vanilla Deus Ex.
Okay.
And then download Revision at whatever point you want to. In our experience, if you want to do vanilla all the way through, you can.
I'll try. I'll see if it gives me technical issues. I don't want to judge it on that. You know.
You may have to restart your game if you jump into Revision. I don't know that. I feel like in my memory when I played this several years ago, I think I may have restarted, but I wasn't super far into the game, maybe even just the first mission. So, yeah, so that's what we'll be doing for the next chunk of the game pack, some Deus Ex. I'm really excited about this. The cliche thing I was going to say about Deus Ex is that it's one of those games that, talks about things and dabbles in themes that are incredibly relevant, more relevant than they've ever been, to where it's strangely prophetic in some ways.
It takes place in a cyberpunk dystopia, right?
It does. So, and
we're getting there.
Yeah, so
you're
going to see a lot of that. No, and this game is about the dystopia in not the cool ways. They talk about, I'm not going to spoil anything, but deadly viruses, plagues, those sorts of things, COVID-19s. That is a background element in addition to a lot of other stuff like we currently have going on, AI and energy. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm gonna start today. I have it installed on my computer, but I haven't started my save file. But dude, just when the game opens up and you start your save file after the training mode. So when you start training, it just plops you into the game. Just go in blank slate, and then when you start the game, it gives you all the intro. Pay close attention to some of the voices. You'll recognize, I think, some of the voices that they have going on.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
All right, Brandon. Well, that was our Sleeping Dogs play-along club, dude.
Nice. Yeah, I look forward to playing some Deus Ex, and I'll see you guys on the other side.
All right, man. Well, have a good week, and yeah, we're gonna get into some cyberpunk
nonsense
hijinks. Yeah, very soon, dude.
Awesome.
Very excited.
Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Brandon.
I'm Tyler.
We'll see you next time.